Hello YouTubers. Some of you probably recognize this vintage radio from a video I did of it a long time ago. And I've kind of got it up here on this little table on my swivel deal just to show you, it's kind of an oddity in the CB world. And there are some other models that are like this. It's a module radio. In other words, it has a main motherboard, with independent module units that plug into it. And I mean, the technology is nothing uncommon in other parts of the electronic world, but in CB radio, it's pretty uncommon. It was something they did in the 70s for a while, then it just seemed to have disappeared. But as you can see, it's got the main board, and these units, these module units, plug in to it. Now, I've not got the schematic out and looked up what each one of these boards is. I know this is because this is a Royce, this is the sardine can. Man, a little dust in this guy. That is the sardine can, PLL unit. I know that much. As far as what the other boards are, I don't know. Each one of them is probably, we know that's the PLL. There's probably an RF, amplification output. Maybe here, that may be the output transistor with the heat sink there. There's a relay it mounts on the main motherboard. And notice there's socketed, there's like pins that they plug into. And there's a holder piece back here. You take the screws out of this holder in the back, and there's one here in the front. And then you can, I've never done it on one of these, but you can unplug the module boards. I've got another one of these module radios to show that's different from this one. Probably the same maker, but they're not the same design, not laid out the same. It's just the AC to DC power supply in this radio. It's kind of like I said, for CB radio, pretty unusual. I just thought I'd show them real quick. Okay, this is the Royce 1-625XL module. And I'll be back with another one, totally different brand, but probably the same maker. Okay, the second radio I have, it's a module unit. This is a Courier Conqueror 40D. This radio doesn't work. It's never worked since I've owned it. I stole the clock knobs off of it for my Courier Centurion 40D because everything worked on that radio, but it was missing clock knobs. They're not exact same clock knobs, but close enough. Looked a lot better than bare metal shafts. The clock unit works in this radio, but nothing else does. Layout and design is a fair amount different in this one. I suspect this was made by the same company, but it's definitely not the same radio. Both the Royce I showed you earlier and this one were made in Japan. This one, the board's a little bit different. It got one large metal, strap retainer. You remove this, and then you can unplug these module boards. And these module boards on this radio, the sockets are a bit different. So just metal exposed pins, male and female. And these are like plastic type sockets, still metal pins inside, but these are reminiscent of what you'd see in one of today's PCs, to be honest. Kind of ahead of its time. This radio was made in late 1970s, like that Royce. The module design survived in a lot of other types of two-way radios, but it did not survive in CB radio. This was really short-lived. I don't know if I'll ever revive this radio or not. I've had some of these out years ago, and somebody had done some pretty poor quality work on at least one or two of these. I can't remember exactly. She has no transmit or receive. I don't know if I'll ever revive it or not. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. It just sits and collects dust as it is. But I thought I'd show these two radios a little bit of CB radio history that was short-lived, kind of late 1970s. Apparently at least one company in Japan, went the module board route, for CB radios, but it was short-lived and disappeared. So I know a lot of you won't find this very interesting, but still I know some of you will. Some of the techie types like myself. Well, I'm not a tech, I'm a tinker. You know, techs and tinkers, I should say, might find this interesting. It's a little bit of CB radio history that's, you know, kind of long forgotten and seldom encountered because there wasn't a whole lot of models that were made like this. There are some mobiles that are module units like this too. I know Royce has some mobile module radios. There could be some Couriers as well. I'm not for certain, but I kind of suspect there probably is. Okay, everybody, 73s for now.